Thank you so much for clicking the thumbnail and being interested in my work. In this video, I share with you my techniques and tips on how I achieve skin tones and the hair, so be sure to watch it right through to the end, because here and there I'll be slowing things down so you can take a closer look. So let's dive in and take a look. Right, before we start, here's a couple of clips from my previous video, which is how to draw the outline freehand. So it's part 1 of Nate's drawing. So if you want to check that out, the link's in my description below. The stage that follows the outline is the underdrawing. Now they're the basic colours I'm using for that. Now the reason I do an underdrawing is because it's a chance to get everything in proportion and try and create form by just using basic colours, the primary colours, which is the red, blue and yellow, and then I dull the colours down by using the secondary colours. And now for the white of the eyes, I'm using blue and orange, which are complementary, which make great greys. So the idea behind it is to get everything in place. Because it's a freehand drawing, this is another stage to make sure everything's accurate and in the correct place. I apply the white down first and then glaze the colours over the top in the light areas, and in the darker areas I'm just going in there with just colour and then putting white on the top. The flesh colours are mixed by using the red and then going over then with either yellow ochre, or if the red's too rich I'll go over with green to dull it down. I'm not concerned at all with detail at this point, it's just getting the shapes correct and the feel. So you open your heart, relax the mind, just enjoy the process. Right, to save time, I'm just going to speed through this now until we get to the end of the underdrawing, so I can spend more time explaining how I put the richer colours and the final colours on the skin tones and hair. Here's the basic colours I'm using for the hair. If you're getting value from this video, why not subscribe? It's absolutely free and then you're sure not to miss any of my future videos. My approach to drawing hair is to use the white Carbothello pencil to get the direction and the movement of the hair. I always find it's best just to relax and see the shapes and the flow and the movement of how the hair feels, and then draw that. And don't worry about the detail again at this stage, it's just underdrawing, so you're just basically getting the blocks in, just ready, so when you start putting the rich colours on, everything's in place, so you can just have a more accurate and less time consuming than when you put the details in, because you've got the shape and everything right on the underdrawing. Here's a selection of Caran d'Ache pencils I'm using for the final coat, and the basic colours I use to glaze over the top. And then I just bunch them together and hold them in my left hand, so it's easy access, then I can easily pick one up when I need to. Now why I use the Caran d'Ache colours first and then glaze over the top is that these pencils are quite rich and vibrant. There's a lot more pigment in them, so it just stands out more, so it gives more of vividness to the drawing. So I tend to just use those first. Now these pencils are like pre-mixes of yellow ochre and white, and there's like a pink one there which is basically just red and white mixed together, so it just saves me time mixing on the board then. So if I've got these pencils that that are different tones of what I'm normally mix, you know, why not use them? It's just a little quicker, and also it helps with getting the texture as well. So yeah, basically just doing that, and then just glazing over with red, blue and yellow. And then if the red's too vibrant, I just dull it down with the opposite colour, or the complementary colour, which is the green. Right, so just slowing it down a little bit here, just so you can see how I use the Carbothello white to soften things up. So first of all, you put your rich colours down, but then you'll find there's like quite sharp edges with those, because they're quite rich in pigment. They seem to cling to the pastel mat. So to soften them up, the edges, I tend to go around with the Carbothello white and then just glaze over the top. Now when you apply the red, it'll be too rich. So then to dull it down or desaturate it, or to make it less chroma, what you do is place the complementary colour over the top, so you're mixing it with it, which will be the green, and then that really subtles it down. Then you go over again with white and keep doing that backwards and forwards till you get the right colour. Now it does take time to build these layers up, so initially when you start putting the colours on, it's not exactly the finished product. You'll go over it again with the fine details later. It's just a case of just getting all that richness and subtleties in, and then just keep refining it now and again when you see it needs it. So it's hard to put in words really, but you don't get too wrapped up in one area. You tend to work on several areas, and then it all comes together. You see it as a whole, and you're sensing the energy and the feeling, as well as the colours and the values. So there's quite a lot going off, but you're not thinking about it, it's just automatic. Just slowing things down again, just to show you how wonderful this red is of the Caran d'Ache. It's like cadmium red, but it's so rich and it's beautiful when it's mixed with yellows. It really is that nice, soft, rich skin tone colour. What I'll do is I'll leave a list of materials in the description below and give you the numbers of each pencil, so you don't have to buy the set. But if you can afford the set, it'd be cheaper in the long run because it's cheaper per pencil. But just to help you out there, I'll just leave a list of the numbers so you can just buy them singly. If you would like to support me on Patreon, I am now offering an exclusive 4-hour-long video plus a step-by-step exclusive video every month. To find out more, the link is in the description below. I always find reflected light quite interesting to draw as well. With this portrait, there's a reflection from his white shirt, which is making actually like a purpley colour to the skin. So I've had quite a bit of blue to that to create that feeling. Now when I'm doing the final colours of the eyes, I tend to try and work on both eyes at the same time, because if you focus just on one, by the time you get to the other one you probably forgot what sort of colours you've put together. So just to make them so they keep the same, I tend to do both at the same time. For the white of the eyes, I've started here with the Carandi Ash, because it's quite rich and it's got a shine through that colour you're going to put on top. And then I use orange and blue, which creates a really nice subtle greys, which are perfect for the white of the eyes, because it's like orangey bluey colour. So it's really cool for that. And again, doing both at the same time, so you know they get the balance right. If I can get away with not using the black, I will, so I use brown and purple and mix that together, or brown and dark blue. It gives a nice depth to it then. And yeah, you tend to put more rich colours now in there. That's a yellow ochre rich Carandi Ash. Again, I put the list of these pencils in the description below, so take a look at that later. If you're enjoying this video, why not give it a like and share it with your friends? I'd really appreciate that, because that would help the channel to grow. Having to speed this video up now a little bit, because obviously the time factor in this, you know, I've got the hair to talk about as well in this video. Now I was going to do the actual shirt as well, but I want to leave that to a video on its own for next week, because it's just take too much time up, and I want to explain in detail certain things. So unfortunately I've had to speed this up now a little bit, but if you're wanting to see longer videos, please join me on Patreon. I'd really appreciate the actual help and in supporting me with my art. Right, I'll try and explain as much as I can with the time we've got left. But if you're wanting more in-depth videos on hair, I've got quite a few in my channel now that go through in detail the technique I do use for hair, so please check them out as well at the end of the video. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can find them easy. The procedure I do is using the white again to map out the direction of each hair. So I use the Carandi Ash and the Carbothello whites, because they tend to sort of grab the pastel mat more, and they don't tend to move when you glaze over the top of the colours. So you need a white that's not going to move around and easily blended. So I recommend using the Carandi Ash and the Carbothello ones just to map out, and then just glaze over then very lightly with the other colours. Now you have to be aware of the values as well, so making it too dark would actually draw the eye too much to the hair, so you've got to keep everything in balance. Now I want people to see is the soul of Nate through his eyes, so I've put more depth and contrast in the eyes, so you don't want too much contrast and depth in the hair to throw the eye off. So you try and subtle it up a little bit, so it keeps everything focused on his awesome energy. Something else to bear in mind as well is you're not trying to actually make a replica of the photograph or reference image you're using, or you might as well just take another photograph. You're creating something so different. It's like a caricature brings out the funny things or parts of someone. So what I try and work towards is to bring out the energy, the soul in the person. So some things have to be softer and some things have to be more sort of contrast. So it sort of creates a feeling for your eyes then. So you're actually developing something totally different to what a photograph feels like, and you want it to feel like it's real. How I see it, the details take care of themselves. It just happens. And I just sense and feel, and I just search for that. I just search for that when I'm observing and try and bring that out in my work. Here's the portrait at the correct angle as I saw it, because on the easel you're seeing it in perspective. Thank you for watching the video right through to the end. If you found value in it and you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Appreciate it, would help the channel. Leave a comment and a message in the comments below. Let me know what sort of videos you want me to produce. I've actually left a couple of links here for you to click on. And to subscribe, click on the circle here. It's absolutely free, and then you're sure not to miss any of my future videos. Thank you so much, take care and be well.